If you're leading a team or managing a family or maybe pouring your heart into ministry, you were probably doing all the right things.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
But why does doing good feel so utterly exhausting?
That is the question.
Because you're giving it your all, but beneath the surface, there's this quiet, steady drain. So on today's deep dive, we're unpacking that exact tension. How do you stay consistent in your faith and leadership without just, burning out completely?
It is a tension so many capable people face.
Yeah.
And the most illuminating thing we found across the notes is that this exhaustion usually isn't a faith problem.
Oh, interesting. Not a faith problem.
Exactly. It's really a design problem. I mean, people assume they're tired because they don't believe enough or they aren't trying hard enough. But really, it's this profound disconnect between how they were operating and how they were actually built to operate.
Okay, yeah, I get the design aspect. I mean, it's like trying to hike a really steep mountain wearing a heavy backpack, but one that's custom fitted for someone completely different.
That is a great way to put it.
Right, like you have the leg strength to hike, sure, but the gear is digging into your shoulders and throwing off your balance. But let me push back here for a second.
Sure.
Because in the real world, isn't taking that backpack off kind of a luxury? Like if my team needs direction today or my kids need me right now, I can't just pause my responsibilities to, realign my design.
Right, right. And that is exactly the trap we fall into. We assume aligning our design means abandoning responsibility.
Exactly, yeah.
But it's actually about how you carry the load. Look at what happens when you operate out of someone else's leadership style. Like say you're naturally a steady relational leader, but you are forcing yourself to emulate a highly aggressive, rapid-fire visionary.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that sounds exhausting.
It is. Every single decision takes twice the energy. Galatians 6.9 talks about not growing weary while doing good. The weariness is real, obviously, but it happens so much faster when you are forcing a rhythm that simply isn't yours.
So the friction comes from the mismatch. But how do we actually stop forcing that rhythm? Like, what does taking the backpack off look like on a random Tuesday afternoon?
Well, it starts with changing how you process decisions. For example, the book Leadership and Longevity tackles decision fatigue really well.
Okay, decision fatigue.
Right. Instead of trying to control every outcome, which is honestly what burns us out,
Yeah.
you establish 2 or 3 core convictions for your team or your family.
So you just lean on those convictions when things get crazy.
Exactly. When a crisis hits, you don't exhaust yourself evaluating 50 possible solutions. You filter the problem strictly through those core convictions. It basically makes the decision for you and drastically reduces the mental bandwidth you have to spend.
Wait, so you aren't abdicating responsibility at all? You're just narrowing the playing field, giving yourself a boundary to operate within.
Precisely. And that ties directly into how we rest. Matthew 11.28 gets at this perfectly, where Jesus invites the tired to rest.
Right.
But the mechanism of rest here isn't just taking a nap. I mean, it's shifting from constant output to simple intimacy and presence.
Which is incredibly hard for a lot of us to do.
Oh, absolutely. And another resource we reviewed, The Gift of Presence, explains how to stop confusing a packed calendar with actual devotion. It shows you how to break the cycle by doing something incredibly counterintuitive.
Which is what?
Taking small, scheduled blocks of time where you produce absolutely nothing.
Oh, wow. Literally nothing.
Nothing at all. No checking emails, no prepping for the next meeting, just sitting in stillness to break the adrenaline loop.
I totally see the connection to FaithFlow here, because if the core of FaithFlow is that you serve best when you live the way God shaped you, then intentionally slowing down gives you the space to actually recognize your own shape.
Yes, exactly.
Like you can't figure out how you're wired if you're sprinting on a treadmill all day long.
You really can't. Rest is the discipline that lets you hear your own thoughts again. It's what sustains you for the long haul.
So if you're listening to this and you can feel those straps digging into your shoulders right now, just know that slow growth is completely okay.
It really is.
Yeah, and taking a pause isn't a sign of weakness. It's actually a form of obedience. And whenever you are ready to explore what those quieter rhythms look like for your specific life, FaithFlow Rooted Ministry is just a steady, open place to continue that journey at your own pace.
It is a really great, calm environment for finding that clarity.
Yeah, it really is. But before we wrap up today, I want to leave you with a slightly different angle to think about. We've spent this time discussing how operating in your own design and embracing rest saves you from burning out.
Right.
But think about the people relying on you.
Yeah.
What are you inadvertently teaching them about God's character when they see a leader who refuses to ever stop moving?